My next guest takes on Gregor Gillespie at UFC on Fox 27 on January 27th. It is Jordan Rinaldi joining me here on the program for the very first time. Jordan, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and I know you've been doing the media rounds, leading into this interview. How's that going? Is that something you're getting used to?
Yeah, it's something I'm learning over time. My brother what does he do? He gives me constructive criticism in a nice way, I guess, but just trying to get better at speaking to the media and learning how to and not saying as much.
No worries. So far, so good here. So no complaints on my end. But of course, you're coming off your first UFC win, and I know you haven't fought that much in the last couple of years. I think it's just 2 times. How have you been able to sort of keep your sanity, being on the sidelines with injuries and fight cancellations and everything else?
Just doing everything. I mean, the fight is in the process. The fights aren't the only thing. Learning and continuing to evolve and training all the time is how I stick with it. Plus, I have a family. I have a wife, and trying to get to where we have a house one day and everything. It's just one day at a time, and just getting better each day as well.
Yeah, it's part of the process, right? It's not a marathon. Exactly. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You got to kind of take your time to get where you want to get to. I referenced it there. The first UFC win, you get the submission victory over Alvaro Herrera. UFC Fight Night 114. Could that fight have gone any better? You go out there and get a submission.
It could have gone better 2 ways.
Okay.
If I would have not gotten cut, it was brutal.
Yes, that's true.
I was so swollen.
Yeah.
And then if I would have got the bonus, that would have been fantastic. But other than that, it was perfect.
Yeah, and how'd you celebrate after that win? Because, getting the first UFC win, that's kind of a big deal.
Not much. We just went back to the hotel. We really didn't do anything. We watched the rest of the fight card at the hotel because that was the first fight. And then once I got back to Charlotte, I just had a nice dinner with my wife, and that's about it. I mean, it was a huge thing, and I was really excited about it, but it's just part of the job.
Well, I was going to say, you don't strike me as the type of guy to have like an after party at a club and popping bottles and throwing money everywhere, right? You don't seem like that type of guy.
That's not my scene, and since this is going to be a fight at home, the next day I'll be at church, whether I'm cut up 30 stitches and everything, black eyes, I don't care. I'll be at church the next day doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Look
at you, man, making time for the Lord. I like that. You got your priorities straight. That's important. Good role model here. Let's talk about your opponent, Gregor Gillespie, 10-0 record. Not a huge name, but obviously a great fighter, great record. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
Well, first off, he's someone that's definitely got some buzz on him, but I think I match up well. Wrestlers tend to want to strike with me for whatever reason that is, and then when they do try to wrestle with me, if they get me to the ground, they have a lot of trouble there. I think my guard is very tricky, even half guard, side control, whatever you have me on the ground. I match up well with anybody, and I think my jiu-jitsu is very underrated in the UFC and in MMA in general. I think my striking is better than his. I think he's more technical in the basics, but I think I just have a bigger toolbox than him. So I think he's very good at the basics, very good boxer, and I just think my striking is more technical, more varied, and I think my timing is better as well.
Does it add any more excitement to a matchup like this, knowing you could hand Gregor Gillespie the first loss of his career?
I mean, it's just another opponent. I understand that he's 10-0 and everything like that, and I've beaten undefeated people multiple times, and it is cool to do that. I want to be the first one to do it, and I will be the first one to do that. But it's nothing. I mean, this is my job. I go out there trying to beat everybody each time 1,000%. It doesn't matter who it is, what the record is. I'm going out there to win.
And let's talk about your training camp. Who are some of your main training partners that are helping you get ready for this fight?
Well, for this fight, I'm at Team Rock in Charlotte. That's my main gym. I've always been there. And Jeremy Perdue, Wayne Martin Jr. They're not big names. They're just
That's
local
okay.
guys.
We got to plug these names because these are people we could be seeing in the future, right? So
absolutely. My head coach is Hallie Hare. Everyone calls him Snake. These are guys that it's a small gym, small, close-knit guys that I've been working with for years and years, and they're the ones that have made me who I am, and I'm very happy and grateful for them. I do train a lot in Atlanta because my wife works down there now, so when I'm down there, I'm training at ATT Atlanta, or ATT Gwinnett technically, but the Limas are there, Jacal's there, I got a lot of good guys down there, so it's really the best of both worlds that I get to go to Atlanta whenever I want, and then I get to train here for fights specifically, and that really helps me to dial in exactly what I want come fight time.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Lima brothers. Douglas has that big title defense coming up here on the 20th, so that must be really good, the fact that you guys have fights relatively close together.
Yeah, and that was the thing. He was supposed to be fighting, or he thought they were going to be fighting, I think, in December, so he was already cranking it up a few months ago, and honestly, Diego never stops training. I mean, that guy's a monster. He's a machine. So basically from my last fight till November, December time when I came back to Charlotte for this camp, we were just going, 100% down there. So it was really fantastic to get to train with those guys, and it was a lot of help.
Excellent. How's the weight cut going, getting down to lightweight for this matchup?
It's easy. Lightweight's easy for me. I've fought at 45, I think 3 times now, and I never want to do it again, especially without an IV, but 155 is really easy for me. I can't walk around at the weight, but I mean, I'm getting so lean, and after the surgery a year ago, my legs kind of shriveled up a little on me, so that's what I've been trying to build back my legs so I don't look so top heavy. But the weight cut's really easy, and it shouldn't be a problem at all.
What can fans expect on January 27th? How do you see this fight unfolding?
I think it's going to be a lot on the stand-up, a lot of the on the wall work as well. Gregor is somebody who likes to walk forward and bang, and I'm not afraid of that either. I'm up for fighting however it takes, whatever it takes for me to do it at the easiest. So I'm not going to just go out there and try to out-wrestle him. That's foolishness, If I can outstrike him, great. If I have to put him on his back and then beat him with my jiu-jitsu, I'm fine with that as well. So I'm expecting a war. I mean, he's gotten a couple bonuses already, and I'm not afraid to get a bonus either. So I'm ready for whatever it takes.
How often are you looking to fight this year? I know I mentioned off the top, sort of, not getting as many fights as you'd like. Are you looking to fight, sort of 3 times this year? Is that would be sort of a perfect scenario?
I won 4 times this year, honestly.
Make up for lost time. Yeah,
I'm 30. I didn't fight but twice in the last 2 years because of a hip injury. So I'm ready to knock these out. I mean, if I'm winning fights, there's no reason not to book me right away. And I don't want to get fat, come back down, and then fat again, come back down. Keeping cardio up and my weight down is easier if you have fights back to back. So I would much rather have fights close together. I'll make more money. More people will see me, get exposed to me, and I'll get 4 wins this year. So then I'll be ranked in the top 15 hopefully by the end of the year.
You mentioned going to church. What else do you like doing on your downtime? You seem like a family guy and all that. Obviously, I'm sure that's on the list. But are you watching any Netflix? You playing any video games? What would I find you doing outside the cage?
Most of the time, I'm watching Amazon or Netflix. The Grand Tour season 2 just started, so every Friday I'm watching that. A lot of Top Gear. I'm a car guy, so anything that has to do with cars, that's what I love. So those are the things I do. But I'm pretty boring. I watch. Because when I'm in Charlotte, I live with my dad and my stepmom. So when I'm here, I watch HGTV with them. I watch the Antiques Roadshow with them sometimes. I mean, it's just random.
Excellent. Well, everyone's got to check out this fight. It's UFC on Fox 27 coming up here January 27th. Jordan, this is a lot of fun, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
All of my social media is Jordan Rinaldi, Twitter, Facebook. If you go on my Facebook, go to my fan page. I'm trying to keep people from adding my personal page.
Right. That's annoying. I know what you mean.
Random people that I've never seen before. But Instagram, I believe it's Jordan Rinaldi as well. Just thank you to Team Rock and Harrisburg Weightlifting Club and ATT Atlanta. And I guess that's about it.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.